Ladies and gentlemen, every day we wake up and face a sea of decisions. Some choices are automatic, almost reflexive, while others demand deliberation. But have you ever stopped to think about the immense power of a single choice? It's not the world outside of you, but the decisions within you that dictate the life you live. The road to change begins not with external circumstances, but with a conscious decision to make a different choice. Let me take you on a journey of self awareness, a journey where you realize that every step forward starts with a decision to step away from what no longer serves you. Each of us carries a script one that we've written over time through habits, beliefs, and repetitive behaviors. It's a script we follow so closely that it often feels like there's no other way to live. But here's the truth: the life you're living today is not your destiny, it's simply a reflection of the choices you've made up until now. The power of choice is one of the most profound and transformative forces in life. It determines not only the direction we take, but the quality of the journey itself. Every moment presents an opportunity to decide, sometimes consciously, often unconsciously. These decisions accumulate, forming the tapestry of our existence, shaping our identity and defining the reality we experience. Yet, most people underestimate the weight of their choices, seeing them as mundane or insignificant, when in truth, they hold the key to everything. Consider how much of life is spent in patterns, routines, and habits that feel automatic. You wake up, follow the same rituals, and think the same thoughts. The day unfolds predictably because the choices you make are often dictated by what is familiar. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Familiarity offers comfort and a sense of control. But when comfort turns into stagnation, it becomes the very thing that limits growth. What if, instead of automatically choosing what feels easy or safe, you pause to recognize the potential of a different path? The truth is, your choices are like seeds. Planting the same ones will yield the same harvest. If the life you're living isn't the one you desire, it's not because of an external force holding you back. It's the choices you continue to make that perpetuate your current circumstances. Every thought, every action, every decision is an investment in the future. By consciously choosing differently, even in small ways, you alter the course of what's to come. Let's go deeper into how this unfolds in the mind. Your brain is wired to conserve energy, favoring routine and behaviors that have been repeated over time. This efficiency is what allows you to drive a car or complete daily tasks without much thought. But this same mechanism is what keeps you stuck in loops of behavior that no longer serve you. When you make a new choice, it feels difficult, even unnatural, because you're breaking a well-worn narrow pathway. It's like forging a trail through dense, untouched forest instead of walking an already paved road. In that moment of decision, when you choose to think, feel, or act differently, you are challenging the old programming. This is where growth begins. It's not just about the immediate outcome of the choice, but about the signal you send to yourself. You're telling your mind and body, I am not defined by the past. I am capable of creating something new. The power of that message cannot be overstated. It disrupts the cycle of predictability and opens the door to transformation. But here's what makes choice so powerful. It's not about grand gestures or life-altering decisions. It's in the subtle, almost imperceptible shifts. It's choosing to respond with kindness instead of frustration, choosing to see possibility instead of limitation, choosing to get up and try again when failure tempts you to give up. Each of these choices seems small in isolation, but over time they create momentum. They signal to your subconscious that you are no longer operating from the same identity. The beauty of choice lies in its accessibility. No matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, the next moment holds the potential for a different decision. It doesn't require permission from anyone else. It doesn't depend on resources, circumstances, or timing. It is an internal shift, one that begins and ends within you. This is why choice is the ultimate equalizer. Everyone has it, but not everyone uses it. When you embrace the power of choice, you reclaim your role as the creator of your life. You move from victim to victor, from passive participant to active architect. The choice to wake up and pursue a dream. The choice to let go of anger and choose forgiveness. The choice to invest in yourself. These are the moments that define not only who you are, but what becomes possible. Every decision is a vote for the person you wish to become. It's easy to dismiss small choices, to see them as inconsequential, but think about the compound effect. A single drop of water is insignificant on its own, but over time, those drops can carve canyons. Your choices work the same way. Each time you make a decision, no matter how small, you reinforce a direction. You either move closer to the life you desire or further away from it. The power lies in recognizing this truth and acting with intention. So if you find yourself caught in patterns that no longer serve you, remember that it's not the external world that needs to change, it's the choices you make within it. Every decision holds the potential to shift the trajectory of your life. Choose with awareness. Choose with purpose. Choose differently. A new choice has the power to disrupt the cycle of predictability that governs so much of our lives. Most people live within a framework of familiarity, repeating the same patterns of thought, behavior, and emotion day after day. This predictability offers a sense of stability and control, but it also creates a kind of inertia where life becomes more of the same year after year. Breaking free from this cycle requires more than just intention. It demands action, a conscious decision to step into the unknown and make a choice that challenges what is familiar. The human mind craves certainty. It finds comfort in knowing what's coming next because that predictability feels safe. But growth and transformation don't happen in safety. They happen in a space where you dare to choose differently. When you disrupt the cycle of predictability, you open the door to possibility. That disruption might feel uncomfortable at first because the brain resists change, clinging to the well-worn neural pathways it has created over time. These pathways, formed through repeated patterns of thought and behavior, make the familiar feel easy and automatic. Yet, they also create the limits of your current reality. Making a new choice is not just about changing your actions, it's about challenging your identity. Predictability reinforces who you believe yourself to be based on past experiences and repetitive habits. Choosing differently requires you to step outside that identity and entertain the idea that you are more than the sum of your past. It asks you to trust in something greater than what you've already known, to believe that you can become someone new by deciding to live a new way. This isn't a leap into the impossible, it's a deliberate step into the realm of potential. When you make a different choice, you create a ripple effect. That one decision shifts not only your immediate experience, but also the way you perceive yourself in the world. Imagine, for example, choosing to respond with patience instead of frustration in a moment of conflict. That single act not only alters the dynamic of the situation, but also reinforces a new pattern within you, one that prioritizes understanding over reaction. Over time, these small disruptions to predictability begin to accumulate, reshaping your habits, your relationships, and ultimately your life. The cycle of predictability is alluring because it feels effortless. It doesn't require conscious thought. It runs on autopilot. But that ease comes at a cost. It keeps you confined to the same experiences, the same outcomes, the same emotions. Life begins to feel repetitive, and with repetition comes stagnation. To grow, you must be willing to step into the effort of choice. That effort, while initially uncomfortable, is what creates momentum. It propels you out of the inertia of the known and into the dynamic flow of change. Breaking predictability also means embracing uncertainty. This is where many people hesitate. The unknown feels risky, and the mind immediately conjures fears and doubts. But uncertainty is not something to fear, it's a blank canvas. When you make a new choice, you step into that blank canvas and begin to paint something entirely unique. You are no longer confined by the limits of what has been, you are creating what could be. In this space, you are no longer a passive observer of your life, but an active participant in its unfolding. Each new choice is an act of courage. It says to the world, I am willing to grow, even if it means letting go of what I know. This willingness is what separates those who evolve from those who remain stuck. It's not about making radical changes overnight. It's about being willing to make one new choice, and then another, and then another. Over time, these choices create a new normal, one that reflects the growth and transformation you've chosen to pursue. The cycle of predictability thrives on repetition, but disruption thrives on awareness. The moment you become aware of the patterns that no longer serve you, you gain the power to change them. Awareness is the first step, but choice is the catalyst. It is the moment when you decide to act differently, think differently, or see the world differently. That decision, no matter how small, creates a shift. It's like dropping a pebble into still water. The ripples extend far beyond the initial impact, touching every aspect of your life. This process is not about abandoning everything familiar, but about selectively disrupting the patterns that limit you. It's about recognizing where you've been operating on autopilot and choosing to engage more consciously. It's about asking yourself, what if I did this differently? What if I stepped outside of what I know and tried something new? That willingness to explore, to experiment, is where transformation begins. When you make a different choice, you challenge not only the cycle of predictability, but also the beliefs that have kept you bound to it. You begin to see the world through a new lens, one that is shaped not by limitations, but by possibilities. This shift doesn't just change your actions, it changes your mindset, your emotions, and ultimately the way you experience life. The unknown holds a magnetism that can either inspire curiosity or evoke fear. It is a space of infinite potential, Yet it is also the place where your mind conjures doubts, worries, and imagined obstacles. Most people spend their lives avoiding the unknown, choosing instead to stay within the comfort of what is familiar. It's predictable, it feels safe, and it requires less effort. But growth, transformation, and the realization of a greater life exists only in the space beyond what you already know. To reach it, you must be willing to embrace the discomfort of uncertainty and take a step into that vast, uncharted territory. The unknown is not inherently threatening, it's your perception of it that shapes your experience. When you approach the unfamiliar with fear, you project past experiences and unfulfilled expectations onto the blank canvas of what could be. This fear tightens your grip on the familiar, convincing you that staying in the same place is the best course of action. However, avoiding the unknown doesn't eliminate its presence, it merely limits your opportunities to grow. The only way to truly transcend fear is to engage with the unknown and discover what lies beyond your current reality. What keeps most people from venturing into the unknown is the mind's reliance on certainty. Your brain, designed to ensure survival, seeks predictability and familiarity because they reduce perceived risks. But while predictability creates safety, it also creates limitations. It keeps you confined to the same thoughts, emotions, and actions that have defined your life so far. The unknown, by contrast, is limitless. It holds possibilities you cannot yet imagine, outcomes you have not yet considered, and opportunities waiting to be uncovered. To step into it is to step into creation, where you become an active participant in shaping your reality. Making a choice to embrace the unknown is an act of courage because it defies the programming of your past. It's easy to remain where things feel familiar, where the path is clear and the destination is known. But in doing so, you sacrifice growth for comfort. The unknown offers a space where you can expand, learn, and evolve. It is where breakthroughs occur and where you discover the strength and resilience you didn't know you possessed. The most significant transformations in life often come from taking a chance on something uncertain, something that pushes you beyond the edge of what you believe is possible. The mind often frames the unknown as a void, a place where control is lost and chaos reigns. But in reality, the unknown is not a void, it is a field of infinite potential. It's a space where you can plant new ideas, experiment with new behaviors, and create new outcomes. When you shift your perception from seeing the unknown as a threat to viewing it as an opportunity, you unlock the courage to explore it. This shift doesn't eliminate fear entirely, but it places fear in its proper context as a natural step, stepping outside your comfort zone, not as a barrier to action. Every choice to step into the unknown challenges the boundaries of who you think you are. It invites you to let go of the labels, stories, and limitations you've carried and to imagine a greater version of yourself. This doesn't mean abandoning it, it means building upon it, using the foundation of your past as a springboard into the future. The unknown is not about discarding your identity, but about expanding it, adding new layers and dimensions that enrich your experience of life. The unknown is also where creativity flourishes. When you engage with uncertainty, you open yourself to new ideas, perspectives, and solutions. You are no longer confined by the rules and patterns that have governed your life. You are free to innovate, to imagine, and to create. This is why so many breakthroughs, whether in art, science, or personal growth, come from stepping into the unknown. It's not about knowing the exact outcome. It's about trusting the process and allowing the journey to reveal itself along the way. Stepping into the unknown also requires a willingness to embrace failure. Not every path you explore will lead to success, and not every decision will yield the outcome you desire. But failure is not a reflection of your worth. It is a stepping stone on the path to mastery. Each misstep teaches you something valuable, something you couldn't have learned if you had stayed within the confines of the familiar. The unknown is not about avoiding mistakes. It's about using them as opportunities to grow and refine your approach. When you choose to venture into the unknown, you are making a statement, not just to the world, but to yourself. You are saying that you value growth over comfort, potential over predictability, and creation over stagnation. This choice doesn't mean abandoning what you know. It means using it as a foundation to explore what could be. The unknown holds the key to a greater version of your life, one that is waiting for you to discover it. Releasing old patterns is one of the most profound and challenging acts of transformation you can undertake. These patterns, born from repeated behaviors, thoughts, and emotions, become deeply ingrained in your identity. Over time, they solidify into habits, and those habits begin to define how you see yourself and interact with the world. While these patterns may have served a purpose at one point, perhaps protecting you, providing comfort, or offering a sense of control, they eventually create limitations. They act like invisible walls, confining you to a version of life that may no longer align with who you want to become. To release these patterns is to free yourself from the constraints of the past and step into the potential of the present. The first step in breaking free from old patterns is awareness. You cannot change what you are unaware of. Many of these patterns operate unconsciously, running beneath the surface of your daily life like a program on autopilot. They guide your reactions, decisions, and beliefs without you even realizing it. By bringing these patterns into conscious awareness, you can begin to see the ways in which they hold you back. This process requires self-reflection and honesty. You must be willing to examine your behaviors and ask yourself, why do I keep doing this? What belief or fear is driving this pattern? Once you've identified the pattern, the next step is to understand its origins. Most patterns are rooted in past experiences, moments when you felt fear, hurt, rejection, or inadequacy. In those moments, your mind and body created a response designed to protect you. Maybe you learned to avoid conflict because it felt unsafe, or perhaps you developed the habit of overworking to prove your worth. These responses were adaptive at the time, but they often outlive their usefulness and become barriers to growth. Recognizing the origin of a pattern allows you to see it for what it is, a survival mechanism, not a permanent part of who you are. Releasing an old pattern also requires emotional work. These patterns are not just mental constructs, they are stored in your body as emotional energy. Each time you repeat a behavior or thought, it reinforces the associated emotion, creating a feedback loop that becomes increasingly difficult to break. To disrupt this loop, you must be willing to feel and process the emotions tied to the pattern. This might mean confronting feelings of fear, sadness, or anger that you've been avoiding. While this process can be uncomfortable, it is also liberating. By facing these emotions head-on, you begin to release their grip on you, creating space for new, empowering emotions to take their place. As you work to release old patterns, it's important to replace them with new ones. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you don't consciously choose new behaviors and thoughts, the old patterns will likely return. This is where intention comes into play. You must decide who you want to become and align your choices with that vision. Each time you choose a new behavior, you are rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that support your growth. This process takes time and repetition, but with consistency, the new patterns will become just as automatic as the old ones. Another crucial element in releasing old patterns is self-compassion. Change is not a linear process, and there will be moments when you fall back into old habits. Rather than criticizing yourself, see these moments as opportunities to learn. Ask yourself, what triggered this response? What can I do differently next time? This approach allows you to stay engaged in the process of growth without being derailed by setbacks. Remember, releasing old patterns is not about perfection, it's about progress. Surrounding yourself with support can also make the process easier. Whether it's a trusted friend, a mentor, or a community of like-minded individuals, having people who encourage and hold you accountable can provide the motivation and guidance you need. Sometimes others can see the patterns you're blind to and offer insights that help you break free. Releasing old patterns is ultimately about reclaiming your power. These patterns were created in moments when you felt powerless, when circumstances dictated your actions and emotions. By letting them go, you take back control of your life. You become the architect of your reality, choosing how you respond to challenges and opportunities. This shift doesn't just change your behaviors, it changes your entire way of being. You begin to see yourself not as a product of your past, but as a creator of your future. The decisions you make today are the seeds of your future. Every choice you make, whether small or large, is a powerful expression of who you are and what you believe about yourself and the world. It's easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that the big changes or milestones are the moments that define your life. But in reality, it's the daily, seemingly insignificant choices that shape your destiny. These are the moments when your true power lies, when you choose either to move forward or stay stuck. The ability to make better choices is rooted in awareness and intention, and it requires you to be fully present in each moment. Too often, people make choices based on past conditioning or unconscious patterns. They react to life circumstances, following familiar scripts and playing out the roles they have always known. This autopilot mode can lead to a life that feels out of control or lacking in fulfillment. When you live in reaction, you are not making decisions based on your true desires, values, or goals. You are simply responding to the world around you, letting external circumstances dictate your actions. This lack of conscious decision-making results in a life that is disconnected from your true potential. Making better choices requires you to break free from this cycle of unconscious living. It means becoming aware of the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that influence your decisions. It means examining whether your choices align with who you want to become or whether they are merely a reflection of your past. Most people's decisions are influenced by fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears often keep them stuck in the same patterns and prevent them from making the choices that would lead to growth and transformation. To make better choices, you must first confront these fears and recognize them for what they are, just thoughts and emotions that can be changed. When you step into the space of conscious choice, you begin to realize that you are not bound by your past. You are not doomed to repeat the same mistakes or live the same life over and over. Each moment is a new opportunity to choose differently, to choose growth, to choose empowerment. Making a better choice means choosing actions that are aligned with your highest values that bring you closer to the life you want to create. This might mean saying no to things that drain your energy, taking risks that push you out of your comfort zone, or setting boundaries that protect your well-being. The key to making better choices lies in your ability to be present. When you are fully present in the moment, you can tune into your wisdom and intuition. You can hear the quiet voice within that knows what is best for you, that knows which direction will lead you to your highest potential. When you are distracted or overwhelmed by external noise, it's harder to make clear, intentional choices. Being present allows you to connect with yourself on a deeper level and make decisions that are in alignment with your authentic self. One of the most powerful ways to make better choices is to develop a sense of self-trust. Many people struggle with decision-making because they doubt their own abilities or question their judgment. This self-doubt can paralyze you, preventing you from taking action and moving forward. But when you trust yourself, you know that no matter what happens, you can handle it. You understand that mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities to learn and grow. With self-trust, you are able to make decisions confidently and with clarity, knowing that you are always moving toward your highest good. Another important aspect of making better choices is aligning your decisions with your long-term vision. It's easy to make choices that offer immediate gratification but are not in alignment with your greater goals. In the moment, these choices may feel good, but over time, they often lead to regret and dissatisfaction. To make better choices, you must have a clear vision of where you want to go and use that vision as a compass to guide your decisions. Each choice should bring you closer to that vision, whether it's a small step or a giant leap. In order to make better choices, it's also essential to let go of the need for perfection. Many people avoid making decisions because they fear making the wrong choice. They overanalyze, second guess, and delay taking action. This fear of making mistakes keeps them stuck in indecision, unable to move forward. But the truth is, no choice is ever perfect. There will always be uncertainty, risks, and unknowns. What matters is your ability to take action despite the fear and uncertainty. By making decisions, you're actively shaping your future and learning along the way. The power to make better choices is in your hands. It's a practice that requires intention, presence, and trust. Each choice you make is an opportunity to align more closely with the life you desire. By making conscious decisions, you take full responsibility for your future, shaping it in a way that reflects your highest potential. You are not a victim of circumstance or fate. You are the creator of your reality. The power of transformation lies within your ability to reprogram your mind and shift your habitual way of thinking. Every moment of your life is shaped by the thoughts you hold, the beliefs you carry, and the stories you tell yourself. These elements form your perception of reality and, in turn, your experience of life. But what if the beliefs you've held for years, the thoughts you've repeated over and over, the stories you've told yourself about who you are and what you are capable of aren't the truth? What if they are just old programs running in the background of your mind, dictating your actions and decisions? The truth is, these programs can be changed. The mind is incredibly malleable, and with conscious effort, you can overwrite old patterns and replace them with new ones that serve you better. This transformation begins with the understanding that your thoughts create your reality. Everything you see in your life right now, the relationships, the career, the health, is a reflection of your thinking. If you change the way you think, you change the way you experience the world. Most of the time, people go through life believing that their circumstances are the cause of their problem. They think that if only their external reality would change, if they had more money, a better job, or a different relationship, then they would be happy and fulfilled. But the external world is just a reflection of your internal world. If you want to change the external circumstances, you must first change your internal thoughts, beliefs, and emotion. One of the most powerful ways to reprogram your mind is through consistent thought discipline. This means becoming aware of the thoughts that arise throughout your day and intentionally choosing to focus on thoughts that align with the person you want to become. It's easy to get caught in the spiral of negative thinking. One negative thought leads to another. And before you know it, you're spiraling downward into self-doubt, fear, and frustration. But the key to transformation is not letting these thoughts control you. Instead of allowing negative thoughts to run rampant, you can choose to interrupt the cycle. When a limiting or negative thought arises, you can consciously redirect your focus to a more empowering thought. This might require effort and practice at first, but over time it becomes easier and more natural. The more you practice redirecting your thoughts, the stronger the new neural pathways in your brain become, eventually replacing the old patterns with new ones. Another powerful tool in reprogramming your mind is visualization. By vividly imagining the life you want to create, you activate the same neural circuits as if the experience were happening in real time. The brain doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined experiences. So when you visualize success, abundance, and happiness, you are rewiring your brain to align with these outcomes. It's like planting seeds in your subconscious mind. The more you visualize your desired reality, the more you begin to believe that it is possible, and the more likely you are to take the actions that lead to its manifestation. Visualization can also help you develop a clear mental picture of your goals, making it easier to make decisions and stay on track with your vision. Affirmations are another powerful tool in reshaping your mindset. These positive, present tense statements can help reprogram your subconscious mind by consistently reinforcing the beliefs you want to adopt. When you repeat affirmations like, I am worthy of success, or I am capable of achieving my dreams, you start to change the narrative you've held about yourself. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more they become a part of your identity. Over time, your subconscious mind begins to believe these statements as truths, and you begin to act in alignment with them. To make lasting changes, it's important to take inspired action that aligns with your new mindset. Transformation is not just about changing your thoughts, it's about embodying those thoughts through your actions. As you begin to reprogram your mind, you will feel inspired to take steps toward your goals. These steps may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if they push you out of your comfort zone, but they are essential for growth. The more you act in alignment with your new beliefs, the more you reinforce those beliefs, and the more natural they become. Another aspect of reprogramming your mind is letting go of the past. Many people are trapped in old stories about who they were or what they've been through. They carry around old wounds, regrets, and judgments that shape their current behavior. In order to create a new reality, you must let go of the past and release the emotional charge attached to it. This doesn't mean ignoring your past or pretending it didn't happen. It means choosing to no longer let it define you. You are not your past mistakes, your past hurts, or your past failures. You are a constantly evolving being, capable of change and growth. The process of reprogramming your mind requires patience and persistence. It's not an overnight change, but with dedication and consistent practice, it is possible to shift your thinking and turn your reality. As you work on reprogramming your mind, you'll begin to notice shifts in your behavior, your choices, and your results. You will start to attract new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences that align with your new beliefs. Reprogramming your mind is not just about thinking differently. It's about becoming a different version of yourself, one that is empowered, confident, and capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. In conclusion, the ability to make a different choice lies in the recognition that you have the power to change your life at any given moment. Every decision, thought, and action contributes to the path you create for yourself. By shifting your mindset and consciously choosing to break free from old patterns, you unlock the potential to transform your reality. Embracing awareness, presence, and self-trust allows you to move beyond the limitations of your past and step into a future that is aligned with your true desires. With each decision you make from a place of intentionality, you reinforce the life you want to build, one choice at a time. The power to transform your life has always been within you. It is not the world around you that shapes your destiny, but the choices you make from within. Take ownership of your decisions, and with each step, create the life you are meant to live.